Why hello there and welcome back to another Dungeon and Dragon video. So the first 1D&D playtest feedback survey has opened up today, so I figured why don't we all just look at it together and see what kind of feedback they're asking for and what kind of feedback we can give them. Since, as I have suggested, I'm not that confident that they are really all that interested in getting player feedback and more so in seeming like they want player feedback. Especially considering, some recent things which have suggested that they really do not listen to what people are saying. But, maybe I'm being overly cynical. I do that a lot, so let us get into this Dungeon and Dragon thing. Alright, so here we are, D&D Beyond 1D&D playtest. Character Origins, feedback survey open until September 15th. So let us click on that and get ourselves to some 1D&D Character Origins playtest survey. Thanks for taking time to complete this feedback survey on the 5th edition of Dungeons & Dragons tabletop role-playing game. This survey focuses on character origin, background, feat, and spell options released in the Unearthed Arcana on August 18th, 2022. Would you like to rate the material presented in Character Origins? Yes. What was the first edition of D&D that you played? 3.5, and that is kind of interesting that they have 3rd and 3.5 as two separate editions. Which of the following character origin options have you playtested? I have not playtested any of these options. I don't think that that makes my feedback any less important, but maybe they do. How satisfied are you overall with the character options presented in this article? Human. I guess the human is okay. My main complaint with them came down to the fact that it was without attribute adjustments. They just felt like they didn't have a place, but they're meh. That's what humans are. They're meh in general. Ardling, very dissatisfied. Dragonborn. I don't like Dragonborn, but the way they are presented was okay. Dwarves. I actually kind of liked the dwarf. I liked their tremor sensibility. Elves. I'm fine with the elves. Gnome. They didn't really do much with the gnomes or the halflings. Like I said in my video on the topic, it does feel a bit like they didn't even really bother with the gnome and the halfling. And orc, I guess I'm satisfied. And I'm dissatisfied with the tiefling. Well, mechanically, I don't mind the tiefling. It's thematically, I'm very dissatisfied with them removing the tiefling's infernal origins. I'm going to leave that on dissatisfied, but not very dissatisfied. How satisfied are you with the elements of the human character options as presented in this article? I am satisfied with skillful and versatile. Those are like normal human traits that have been part of the human stuff since 3rd edition. Resourceful. As an ability, I'm fine with resourceful. My issue is that I feel like it doesn't compensate for the removal of the versatile attribute adjustments. So, comments on the human as presented in this Unearthed Arcana, optional. I am going to take that option. Okay, the options provided do not really make up for the loss of versatile attribute adjustments. I guess that's the best way I can sum it up. How satisfied are you with the elements of the ardling character option as presented in this article? Yeah, I freaking hate ardlings. But I am going to, be objective. B-E objective. Angelic Flight. Honestly, I don't like this. It's like, oh, you can fly for a single move action. You just sprout wings and fly, and it feels like it's trying to be cooler than it is. Celestial Legacy. They are asking for feedback on every specific Celestial Legacy. I feel like this is one feature. They're trying to make it look like they have 5 features, but they really only have 3. I'm not particularly fond with either of those. Damage resistance, radiant damage, a thing that almost no one has. Okay. See, I am being objective. I did not give them very dissatisfied in anything. But I have comments to make, so let's make one of those. Alright, overall, the ardling feels like a half-hearted attempt to provide a celestial balance to the Tiefling, while there are already multiple celestial-based races in the existing editions. I don't remember if I said that in the original video, but that is my other problem with ardlings. Asamirs are a thing. Devas are a thing. Or is it Diva? I don't know. Point is, they've tried celestial races multiple times, and we don't need another one. How satisfied are you with the elements of the Dragonborn character options presented in this article? I am satisfied with the breath weapon and the damage resistance. It is appropriate thematically. See, I don't like that they don't give you a dude, I do not care option, because I do not care about the Dragonborn having dark vision and draconic language. Yeah, it's a feature, but it's not like a noteworthy feature. I guess I'm satisfied with them, and I don't really have anything to say about them. Anyway, moving on to the next thing. How satisfied are you with the elements of the dwarf character option as presented in this article? It's like, I'm satisfied with the dark. I don't care about the dark vision. It's not noteworthy. I'm very satisfied with dwarven resilience and toughness. Thematically, it is a thing that I like about the dwarves, that they are con-based, kind of, because we focus a lot on strength, we focus a lot on dexterity, we focus a lot on charisma and intelligence and wisdom, but constitution doesn't get all that much attention, and I like when we kind of focus a race with that as their, like, primary attribute. Forge-wise, it's okay. Stone cutting, I like the idea of it. I like the idea of the Tremor Sense stone cutting, but as I've said in the other video, it's like, oh, that's a cool thing when you need it, but when you don't need it, it's kind of like, oh, I have this ability that I never use. And then at other times, it feels like the kind of thing that could cause problems. And then also things like this. I'm on a stone floor. I am in a castle which is made of stone. Does my stone cutting work on the stone floor of this castle? Now I'm gonna leave it at very satisfied. I just have a lot of questions about this particular ability. And comments, I don't really have any comments. I mean, I could leave a comment about the thing I just said about the stone cutting, but that doesn't really seem that important. Alright, how satisfied are you with the elements of the elf character option as presented in the article? Once again, like, does anyone have a strong opinion on dark vision? Is anyone sitting here going, I am very satisfied with this dark vision? Actually, maybe I should go back and say that I'm dissatisfied with the Dragonborn getting dark vision, because it seems like almost everyone has dark vision now except humans, and that becomes a thing. It's a problem that occurs in D&D parties where it's like, oh, well, I am the only one who cannot see in the dark. Either way, let's get into this. Yes, I'm satisfied. Okay, so after reviewing them, I'm fine with the drow mechanically. I have issues thematically with something that is traditionally known as a monster race being a standard player race. I am dissatisfied with the High Elf, though. My main complaint being, you know, the prestidigitation cantrip. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can replace that cantrip with a different cantrip from the arcane spell list. Now, to me, that sounds like whenever you finish a long rest, you can select one cantrip from the arcane spell list. It doesn't sound like you get prestidigitation and then you can swap it out for a different spell, because if you can swap it out for a different spell every single day, then it doesn't matter what spell they give you at the beginning. I guess I'm fine with Wood Elf, considering that now I guess Wood Elves are the only race that gets a different speed. Lack of different speed for different races is an issue I have with the playtest. Actually, I will take care of that in a second. Okay, Fey Ancestry, I guess I'm satisfied with it, but like, it no longer provides them the immunity to magical sleep. Magical sleep is part of their trance, but I like it better when it's part of Fey Ancestry. Also, what happened to their immunity to ghoul paralysis? So yeah, there we go. And I don't have any... Do I have any thoughts on the elf? No, but I'm going back to the dwarf because I remembered I do have comments about the dwarf. I am not particularly fond of the dwarf losing their slower but unencumbered speed. While sometimes more of a hindrance, it contributes greatly to the slow and steady feeling of the dwarf. So that's my feeling on the dwarf and them losing their slower speed. Now back to whatever's after elf. Gnome character options. Dark vision, fine. Gnomish cunning. Okay, I really like gnomish cunning. I mean, I guess I like gnomish cunning too. Gnomish lineage, forest gnome, rock gnome. I mean, I guess they're fine. The thing is, it's just like, it feels much more like a 5th edition subrace than it does like the new lineages that have been introduced in this playtest. That is my comment I'm going to write right here. Alright, the gnome lineages feel mechanically inconsistent with those provided for other races, and overall feels like they were just kind of forgotten in the redesign process. That is a hot take that I'm providing. How satisfied are you with the elements of the halfling character options as presented in the article? About the same as the gnome. I guess I like brave and halfling nimbleness, and okay, actually I kind of really like the idea of luck. Naturally stealthy though, I am dissatisfied with. I like the previous version because now it's naturally stealthy, you are trained in stealth, instead of naturally stealthy, you can hide behind a larger character. It just feels like they made it more generic and less interesting. Comments on the halfling as presented in the Unearthed Arcana. Optional. Well, I have comments. Much like the gnome, the halfling feels somewhat left out of the overall redesign process. And next. How satisfied are you with the elements of the orc character options as presented in this article? Just overall, I don't care. Honestly. Alright, I do really like Relentless Endurance. That's a cool thing. I like the powerful build ability. Especially with no racial ability score adjustments, having something that makes the orc stronger is a thing I like. Dark vision. Once again, I don't really care. Adrenaline rush. That's fine. Comments? No, I don't have any comments. I just remembered that I don't like that the gnome and the halfling have a speed of 30 either. I have to go back and add that to my comments. Alright, also removing the size penalty to speed feels like it's taking away some of the race's distinctive feel on gnome and halfling, and are size penalties and adjustments still a thing? That is a concern I have about these new playtest rules, because everyone had a speed of 30, and also no ability score adjustments, so like, is character size going to matter? Especially considering that they modified humans to be able to be small or medium and tieflings to be able to be small or medium, so is that size going to actually mean anything in the rules? How satisfied are you with the elements of the tiefling character options as provided in this article? Well, I don't care about dark vision, and otherworldly presence. Isn't that the one that just gives them like a single spell-like ability? Yep, thaumaturgy. I am dissatisfied with that. I don't like it. Fiendish Legacy Infernal. I'm satisfied with Fiendish Legacy Infernal. I am very dissatisfied with the other two Fiendish Legacies. My comments on the Tiefling will make that clear. Alright, making Tieflings just generically lower planes instead of Infernal robs them of much of their identity in the game world's mythology. I went on that one a lot, I think. Tieflings are devils. That is the thing about them that is cool. And saying, oh, they're not devils, they could be demons or just something else. It's just very wishy-washy, and it makes them less distinctive and not have an identity in, as I said, in the mythology. How satisfied were you overall with the character background selection as presented in the article? Honestly, I'm dissatisfied. I liked some things, but I didn't like some things. Just overall, it was like moderately underwhelming. How satisfied are you with the elements of the character background selection as presented in this article? Background feature ability scores, very dissatisfied. Skill proficiencies, I'm going to refresh myself on the backgrounds real quick. All right, skill proficiencies, 2 skills, and yeah, don't have a problem with that. Tool proficiencies, 1, yeah, I'm cool with that. Language, 1 language. All right, feat, I'm fine with that. And equipment, 50 gold equipment. Yeah, they're fine. The backgrounds are fine. I actually kind of like the idea of them having a mechanical structure to build a background out of instead of just select a background. My main complaint being the ability score adjustments, because if we're just going to tell people you can have whatever ability score adjustments you want, then why even have them at all? The older editions didn't have them. People are still playing those. Maybe if you don't want to have racial ability score adjustments, just don't have ability score adjustments. Actually, though, on that topic, I was speaking with someone last night on this topic, and she said that being able to just have any ability score adjustments would also be a thing that would make her have more anxiety about making a character, because more stuff that you have to choose. You have to make sure that you are selecting the absolute best ability score adjustments instead of, I want to play a crow boy, so I'm going to be the crow boy. But now you also have to get into what are going to be the best set of attribute adjustments to go with this. Or even if you're not metagaming, the best set of attribute adjustments to go with your background. Having them as part of the race also makes it a bit more convenient, because you don't have to choose them individually. I'm going to leave some comments to that effect. All right, removing ability score adjustments from the races makes both the race and ability score adjustments feel less important to the character, and removing any restrictions makes it feel like just another thing you have to decide. Those are my comments on that. Only like halfway through. Which of the following backgrounds have you playtested? I have not playtested any of them. How satisfied are you with the backgrounds as presented in this article? Honestly, I looked them over. They all seemed fine. Wait a minute. The cultist background isn't here. They didn't, like, remove the cultist background, did they? Where's the cultist? The cultist is gone. I am very disappointed that they seem to have removed the cultist. I mean, it was a weird choice for them to make in the first place, but, if you're gonna make a weird choice, stick with it. Yeah, I'm not gonna leave a comment, complaining about them not asking me about the cultist. Do you use feats when playing 5th edition D&D? Okay, I've not played much 5th edition at all, but in that time I've never used feats. Which of these feats have you playtested? None. Which feats? Article. Okay, I could just be one of those people who's like, oh, whatever. It feels, no, I have to go through all the feats and think, oh, how do I feel about this feat? And so I can give them honest feedback on that particular subject. All right, I have looked over the feats and made my choices about how I feel about them. Just in general, it does seem like some of the feats are a little underwhelming, specifically the skilled and the alert. And some of them are, really good, like the lucky and magic initiative, and you know what? I'm mad musician to that. I like how the magic initiate and musician kind of give you like a little dip into class features of like a wizard and a bard, but it makes me wonder, how are we going to handle magic overall in Dungeon and Dragon? Because I don't know. I don't know if Magic Initiate is going to be like a super overpowered feat, or if it's going to be like a super underpowered feat, because I just don't know how we're going to handle magic as it relates to the classes. I really hope they ask for general comments, because that is my big general comment about this playtest. Do I have any comments on the feats? No, I do not really have any comments on the feats. How satisfied are you with the elements of the rules glossary section as presented in the article? Oh, also, this one and the last one, they finally added a don't know / not sure, instead of a, I mean, that's kind of a don't care. So, yeah. I actually like the concept of the 3 spell lists. Oh no, they stole it from Pathfinder, which stole its entire game from Dungeons & Dragons. Okay, I'm fine with the slowed condition, although the fact that they write it, quote, you must spend 1 extra foot of movement for every foot you move using your speed, perhaps could have been simplified to the cost of all of your movement is doubled, because you move in 5-foot increments. I don't know. Like, I don't know how it's different. Inspiration. Screw it. I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied. Incapacitated. I'm going to look that one up. See, this is why I keep saying that, that while they have a don't know, not sure, they should have a don't care. I do not have an opinion on the incapacitated condition. It really feels like they're just exporting the headings from the playtest document and asking you your thoughts on each of them instead of like having actually made a survey. All right, D20 test. I mean, I'm satisfied with it. I do have a comment. All right, the term D20 test feels more like a thing someone wanted to make up than a term needed to exist for understanding the rules. That is my feeling on the D20 test. I think I cut that part out of the video where I went on the rant about the term D20 test and how Wizards of the Coast are really trying to make D20 part of their product identity and, you know, have since the early 2000s. And it's just like, you're never going to get to a point where the D20 is exclusively associated with Wizards of the Coast LLC. It's not going to happen. Stop trying to make fetch happen. Alright, how satisfied are you with the elements of the D20 test as presented in the article? The name D20 test is not a thing that I am asked to give my feedback on. Rolling a 1, yeah, misses. Rolling a 20, I'm satisfied with that. Yeah, okay. I'm satisfied with all of the elements. I do have one issue, though, which is rolling a 20 should result in critical hit damage or inspiration, but not both. If that is the intention of the rules, it is unclear. So that's my comment. It does kind of seem like they wanted to replace critical hits with this inspiration on a D20, but knew they could not remove critical hits because, boy, would people be angry if they got rid of critical hits. I mean, people are angry that this implies you cannot crit on a spell roll, and you shouldn't be able to crit on a spell roll. It's not like a stabby attack. It's a I am just touching you with my magic powers attack. I am doubling down on my assertion that they just exported the headings from the document and put them into the survey. How satisfied are you with the elements of inspiration? Gaining inspiration, only 1 at a time, losing inspiration. It is literally just, they're asking your opinion on everything that has a heading in the document. Okay. Gaining inspiration, as I said, I like the concept of that. I like only being able to hold 1 at a time, because if you're giving them out on any roll of a 20, and then also whenever the DM feels like giving you one, and then humans get a free one every day, limiting them to 1 at a time seems like a good decision, because people aren't going to hold on to them. They're going to be like, okay, I have to use my inspiration, because if I don't use it and then I get another inspiration, well, that sucks for me. And losing inspiration, yeah, no. See, this is where the don't know, not sure thing comes in, because I mean, the fact that you lose them when you go to sleep, I don't really have an opinion on that. Like, I feel like the only 1 at a time thing kind of covers not receiving an abundance of inspirations. Okay, I am now 100% sure that they just exported the headings from the playtest into the survey and a human being did not look at it. How satisfied am I with long rest? How satisfied am I with the way that interrupting and taking a long rest is presented in the frickin' goddamn, this is... They're fine. I'm dissatisfied with the fact that you are asking me about this incredibly basic gameplay feature, which, mind you, this playtest is not about. This playtest is about the character origins. Any additional comments? Optional. Yay! Now I get to give my optional additional comments. Alright, the format of giving only small chunks of playtest material to be integrated into 5e makes it extremely difficult to get any sort of idea about what the overall rules revision will be like. Each rule must be assessed either by how well they work with the previous rule set, or how it may work with hypothetical future rule changes. That's my overall opinion of this playtest. I don't like the way that they're just giving you these little bits of rules, which of course does not allow you to see what the whole version of one D&D, Dungeon and Dragon, whatever, is going to look like. And then I guess they want the demographic information for classification purposes. Alright, thank you for taking the survey. Your feedback is very important to us, and to the D&D game. I'm not sure about that. Alright, back to this. So, that was the feedback survey for the Dungeon and Dragon 1 D&D, whatever, and it did not do anything to alleviate my concerns that they don't really care about the feedback. It seems like they didn't even care enough to really put any thought or effort into the survey and the questions that it asked. Alright, so I did not realize this until editing, but amongst all of the inane details that they are asking your opinion on, there is a conspicuous absence of the children of different humanoid kinds section. So apparently, they want your opinion on everything, except the one thing that people have been criticizing them for. But you know what? Maybe they'll do better in the next one. Maybe they won't. Maybe they'll do worse. I always believe in Wizards of the Coast, LLC, and their ability to do worse in the future. Anyway, thank you for watching. Extra special thanks to my Fightin' Flail Snails, Sam Legorski, Randy Mulholland, and Toshiro Crow. If you'd like to be cool like them, you can check out the Patreon. You can get early access to videos, fun stuff that I make for the Patreon. You know, that's about it. But if you don't want to do that, that's cool too. You can still hit all the lovely buttons, like, subscribe, these other videos, which may or may not be about the Dungeons and the Dragons. Who knows? They could be about anything. And I will see you next time.